Bon, j'ai comme... Une fucking smite 2 méta. Genre. Abonné, ça veut dire changer. There we go. Tout ça c'est fait. Bon. Ce genre de faire non, lui il est pas très bête. Au final, shape, je suis pas sûr là. Mon. Cat. Cat. Les états. Tu vas pas, oui. Là, que je pop dans une autre zone, bah, il y a la maison à loader. Ah ouais, j'ai popé à une autre place.
I tread a path unexplored.
Et ouais, c'est ça. Je suis dans le western side. Pas été résisté, pas pour sauvegarder mes identités de réunion.
Over there.
Un peu là.
Empyrean guides my gaze. Ruinous favor prevails. Predictable. Triumphant as always. Ruinous favor prevails. Predictable.
Hey, Mr. Coco.
Perfection.
Comment vas-tu, Ariodé? D'accord. Option. Audio. Good. Oui, ça va. Hein? En train de régler cette affaire-là ici. Il arrête pas de reset, puis ça m'énerve un peu. Ah oui, réglé. Blind Mad Woman. Folle. C'est ça. Ouais, là, Imperium Test dépend de ton fellowship. Ah, ok. Imperium. Monsieur Fellowship, à place de l'Inter. Pour l'instant, ça serait correct, ça. Ça va, Mystère?
The world will bow.
J'aime pas leur système de formation, des fois, ça fait des affaires bizarres. Je suis obligé d'avoir ma propre formation. Là, un peu en. C'est des places là ici. Moi aussi, des affaires.
There is
Ah.
a fervor in my soul. Purpose guides me.
Comment?
Let's seize the opportunity. I need no guidance.
Je me disais pourquoi je manquais de tous mes shots. Ah, ils ont tous 32 de vie à part lui. Lui, il est déjà à 50 de toughness. Il est résistant, le tabarnache. Paris 91%, tu viens dessus? Tabarnache. Ok.
Embrace
J'avais pas remarqué ça, il était à 91%. Ok. Captive, rebelle. Bon. On va intéresser celle-là. Là-dessus. Let's go.
Some 10 people, children among them, are huddling together in fear. You see that half of them have black holes where their eyes used to be. Some maintain a gloomy silence. Others are wailing. Several armed insurgents are carefully watching over the terrified hostages, snapping every now and then at someone for shaking too much or crying too loudly.
C'est pas ces bizarres ce voix-là, man. Mais. C'est la seule voix qui fonctionne présentement. C'est ça qui est plate. Genre, c'est un mode de speech. Ça va lire le texte. Mais le problème, c'est que le mode il fonctionne pas comme du monde. Ça fait bizarre.
Come to your senses, Erald. Look what you are doing to your own family. A woman of about 60, gray-haired but still strong, is kneeling before a stocky man with a thick pure white beard, stretching her arms toward him. Take pity on us. Let us go. Stop talking and embrace redemption. Our children have gained true sight, while you still believe the lie. Upon seeing you, the man points his weapon at you. The other insurgents do the same. Who are you and why are you here?
All these people, your family.
All of my adopted and blood children are here. I raised them all as my own. And now I must protect them. Help them see.
You can't.
His mind and soul are pierced by shards of a colorful deception. Hues once twisted by despair and the Immaterium's influence can never be the same again. Pasquale's vox hisses furiously, layperson, cognition is not your primary function. You are saving your kin by holding them at gunpoint and believe that burning their eyes will grant them sight. It is evident that the author of the demagogic teaching that confused you meant to make a mockery of your deplorable intellect. Abelard's face turns a deep red. To cast your own children into the thrall of heresy, to drown your progeny in this filth with your own hands.
What was up to you? Can you tell me who are you and what are you doing the test of Fortunate?
I'm the chief. My former name, Erald, is meaningless now. I am a father leading his family to deliverance from woes, to salvation. Aurora has opened my eyes to the truth, and my children will see it.
Aurora, c'est elle la mondiale.
Erald. Spare us. Spare your children.
In the test. Ok, Rick, let's follow. What are you doing? Is no salvation. Stop taking your fare out on innocent. It will not ease your suffering, nor ride your fear.
But, all I wanted was to save. The man drops his weapon and covers his face with his hands in desperation. You hear several short sobs. There's no washing the blood from your hands. But you could at least let us go, Errol. The ones you haven't mutilated yet. The old man gestures to the other insurgents, who lower their weapons. Then he shifts his gaze to you, trying to hold back tears. What happens to us now?
Your family may go. So may you. But make sure I do not ever see you again.
The hostages begin to leave and soon the group disappears around one of the bends. The old man looks away from them and walks in the opposite direction. His shoulders shake with sobs every now and then.
You are an ancestor militar mobile concession. Yeah.
I see the forbidden. Ruinous favor prevails.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
A revelation was sent to me.
Il y a des trappes. On essaie de voir. Il y a Command Center là-bas.
Intriguing.
Là-bas. Ok, il y a un chest. Parfait.
I tread a path unexplored.
Ah, il y a ici, ici, ça se peut quelque chose. Fais attention pas aller trop loin. Même s'il pas, ok. Descendre.
The world will bow.
Ah, on va aller dans le Command Center là. Tu rentres? Carte to the runner. Devait encore. Chose ability. Internship au pire. Contrôle le shot aussi, c'est pas pire. Mais intern, je pense que ça serait meilleur. Yep, watch it. Bon, mon ONS, il est 55, tout à 6. On va encore monter Demolition. Breakthrough. Dash to one enemy. Result enemy opposite side and make an immediate attack with 50% reduce damage. Ça.
powers unseen uncover my path.
Dark green, gloomy and stifling, fills this space like dense fog. The people here are drained, exhausted, bewildered.
This cogitator looks a lot older and more worn than the ones next to it. However, it has evidently been well cared for, numerous parts have been replaced, not a single key is jammed, and fresh seals with prayers to the Omnissiah adorn its surface. One of the side panels has been removed. Bundles of gold-notched cables run from inside to a small data crypt that was connected only a short while ago. The screen reads, "Awaiting access code. You have bypassed the security layers. The cogitator is ready to reveal its secrets." Upon Logis Abel's orders, the archives of every augur station on Rykad Minories and the two primary satellites of Rykad's star have been queried. Said satellites are named Magus Maruf and Zephyra the Keen, after two great champions of faith, whose external cogitators were placed inside the satellites' cores after their shells perished. The purpose of the sacred computation requested by the Logis is to uncover the external influence behind the ongoing insurgency. Computation result, positive. Multiple instances of interference and malfunction detected, suggesting that the ships moving across the system deliberately blinded the sacred augur's eyes. The first of these ships is thought to have arrived 2 Rykad Minories cycles ago, early in the winter. The most recent one arrived a month ago. Logis Abel's conclusion: the insurrection on the planet had been long in the making, with the participation of external actors. It is alleged that 2 cycles ago, Aurora arrived in the Rykad system, the rumored unholy prophet of the insurgents. The subsequent ship movements can be attributed to weapon deliveries. But what is the nature of their activity near Rykad Ephilia? Governor Medina's attention must be drawn to. The final entry cuts off abruptly. The satellite Magus Maruf reports that a ship has translated into the system. Its signature is consistent with the records of the flagship of a rogue trader dynasty, House von Valancius. The satellite Zephyra the Keen reports that a ship drifting nearby has hurriedly sped away. The ship had sent an encrypted Vox transmission to the insurgent-controlled areas of the surface of Rykad Minories. Another transmission was directed to planetoid Rykad Ephilia. Both transmissions were signed Brother Twilight. Their contents could not be decrypted. The entry contains planet-side coordinates marked as Heavy Augur Station Gemming. Possibly a hidden insurgent base? The tall, dark-skinned man turns toward you and greets you in a curt military manner. Faisal Rykadi of Medina af Coronas, governor of this star system. Welcome to my temporary headquarters. The man's gaze falls on Abelard. His eyes slightly narrow. Versirian. Abelard nods dryly. Governor Medina. My greetings. The governor's expression changes drastically when he sees Kasha. Lady Navigator. What an honor. I never thought that House Orselio would grace our world with a visit. I only wish I could have received you under different circumstances. Kasha purses her lips, and an echo of grief knocks the wind out of those present. House Orselio is grateful for the support that you have provided to Urak these many years. I'm not seeing the convoy I'd sent to meet you. What happened? Did they fail to find and escort you? If that is so, I promise you their punishment will be swift and severe. That is an outrage. I will have the personnel vetting procedure changed immediately. The slightest suspicion will be grounds for arrest. Your Lordship, before we proceed with discussing the matters that are of interest to you, there is a question I feel compelled to ask. It was only recently that Lady Theodora was the head of House von Valancius. I have received no word of her demise. How is it that you are now the rogue traitor? The governor frowns, and a deep shadow falls over his face. Rogue traitor von Valancius. Slain. Unthinkable. Please accept my deepest and most sincere condolences, Your Lordship. Do not hesitate to let me know how I might be of help. The governor bows his head in acceptance. Of course, Your Lordship. You will be compensated for any losses. And I'll see to it personally that your ship's holds are filled with the finest goods from my personal reserves. Abelard nods in approval and remarks quietly, "Excellent, Your Lordship. A rogue traitor has no use for leniency. I can offer you several thousand fine, obedient servants. However, I'm sad to inform you that I won't be able to do it until we've dealt with the insurgency on the planet. I'm sure you won't have to wait long. The rabble will soon be duly punished for their heretical scheming." Voigtver is a traitor? Why, any family, however noble, has an unworthy scion or two. Naturally, we will surrender him should we find him within my jurisdiction. Unfortunately, I have no information regarding his location. However, the governor pauses to think. We have a cogitator here at the command center. It's connected to a data crypt from Logi's Abel's sanctum. It aggregated all the Lex Mechanic reports. Unfortunately, the access prayer for it is unknown to me. If you manage to convince the stubborn machine, you might learn something about Coonrad's movements. I'd hazard he fled from you on a ship, not on a pair of wings. The sergeant who managed to impress a person of such noble standing will be recommended for decoration. The governor lowers his voice. I do. Master Van Calix has left for the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium. It's an ancient monastery of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I don't know what his objectives are. Needless to say, insurgent activity has been observed in the monastery's vicinity. But I suppose that's too petty of a problem for an agent of the Most Holy Inquisition. Besides, I have already sent a small detachment of reinforcements there. The weapon the insurgents were using to shoot down shuttles over the city has been destroyed. Now nothing is preventing you from returning to your ship. If you wish to find Master Van Calix, you should go to the cenobium of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Notes of anxiety creep into the voice that rattles from Pasquale's Vox. On behalf of the priesthood of Mars, I, Magus Hanuman, am officially initiating my participation in the operation. I must inspect the state of the relic and assure myself that it is under zero risk of falling into heretic hands. According to the Catechism of Maintenance and Operation, my tech comrades were supposed to lock the monastery gates against lay people and activate the traps. I deem it optimal that an ordained magus should provide his assistance. I categorically object. The governor clenches his fist. As much as I respect the sanctity of your monastery, I have on my hands a whole capital that needs to be attended by the Omnissiah's servants. We have lost many eminent tech priests. Incidentally, one of them perished in that same monastery. Mechanical failures could occur at any moment. Putting it bluntly, you may consider yourself forcibly recruited into the city's defense forces. Medina and Pasquale glare at each other, their unyielding gazes like crossed swords. A critical situation calls for decisive action. I simply cannot let every learned tech priest go to their death the moment they hear about an endangered relic. I need people who can do more than praise the Omnissiah to look after the capital and its millions of citizens. You mistake me for a fool. I know that he arrived separately from you, and I would bet my life that no. The governor's voice dies down in the low growl of a drilling mechadendrite. Its tip is directed straight at the bridge of his nose. Medina clears his throat and grumbles stubbornly, "So this is the negotiation technique you have resorted to? Do you think this is the first time I have been threatened with a weapon?" "No, but this could be your last." Pasquale's voice is akin to the sound produced by his drilling implement, steady and calm, but ready to explode at a moment's notice with the crunching of bone and the squelching of tearing flesh. "I am heading to the monastery because I must. Is that clear?" The governor mutters through gritted teeth, "Abundantly so, Magus." "Thank you for your cooperation, your lordship." The drill stops. "As compensation for your consideration of my request, I, Magus Hanuman, officially undertake to accompany you in the Rykad system in the role of bodyguard and to protect you at all costs until your life functions cease. But only within the limits of the Rykad system." "You're Hanuman? Glad you're alive." The governor raises his eyebrow and stares at the tech priest in surprise, but refrains from further commentary. "I have never been there before, but I would presume that the sacred relic of the reactor is capable of great destruction should it end up in heretic hands. The fury of the freed machine spirits, once released from the sacred circuit, will destroy everything around them. The degree of damage inflicted may render the world of Rykad Minories uninhabitable. Heresy must be purged from those blessed halls. I declare any desecrator who defiles the relic's power a Category 3 blasphemer deserving of immediate execution." The governor looks at Pasquale with curiosity. "According to the reports we've received, Logi's able Hanuman set off for the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium a short while before it was stormed. I'm glad to find out that you're safe. Perhaps you possess information on Master Van Calux?" Pasquale's vox rasps in confusion. "My name is Pasquale Hanuman. Not able. I know nothing about such a person. I've never met him in person. That esteemed Logis supervised the work of Rykad Minories' Lex Mechanics for many years. However, he rarely left his cyber chapel, and I never had the honor of making his acquaintance. A true anchor, right? When a Logis of the Adeptus Mechanicus wants to go somewhere, we don't ask why, your lordship. I would have suggested that you inspect the esteemed Logis' sanctum, but it was destroyed by the rebels. We recovered several data crypts and connected them to the cogitators at the command post. They might provide you with some information." It is amazing that a mechanical voice from a Vox can sound so confused. That name might have been used as a signal intelligible only to its intended recipient. In that case, its bearer might be Archmagus Amarnat. Initiating an investigation and data collection procedure. Adira tenses up and listens, then turns around sharply to face Pasquale. I can hear my friend's snide whispers through the door. Be careful on your search, Magus. If you stare into a shattered mirror for too long, you might see yourself in it, in every shard at once. Mending it is that much more of a tainted affair then, the new reflection is death-like. Glad to be of service, your lordship. If you'd like a distraction, a smaller and safer uprising to suppress at your leisure, there is a planetoid in my system called Ricadiphilia. It hosts a prison colony whose inmates rebelled at the same time as the heretics on the planet. It's an all-round preposterous situation. It should have only taken us a couple of orbital shots to take care of them, but, the governor Yvain Winterscale went there. He is a relative of my suzerain, the great rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, the master of this system and a dozen others. I imagine the young Lord Winterscale is very eager to prove himself to his distinguished kinsman. I see no reason for you not to join him. It's a small planetoid, the prisoners' numbers are few, and they have little in the way of weapons. It's more of a sport for noble lords than a real rebellion. Yvain, Abelard mutters, stroking his beard. One of his distant younger offspring, yes. That's as much as I know about him, which means he hasn't distinguished himself in any meaningful way. Yvain Winterscale has made several diplomatic visits to Urak V on behalf of his father. The great regent would never have granted entry to someone dishonorable, which means, no matter what happened on the planetoid, we must aid the highborn. Is that so? The governor maintains his composure. I'd like to hear your reasoning. Yet another superstition. Surely you don't expect me to believe in it. It's not much, but it is something. I will order an audit of our equipment and see to it that our communication channels are more closely monitored going forward. However, it was only the accidental success of an otherwise disorganized mob of heretics, who have no understanding of the art of war. I've heard about these lenses. What makes you think they're enchanted? Any fool can light a fire with a magnifying glass. That's no sorcery. Governor Medina hesitates before answering, his face slowly turning purple with anger. Your lordship, he grits out through his teeth. I know who you are. I have heard of your exploits, and I will not allow a stranger, let alone another rogue traitor, to speak to me in such a manner and make demands of a subject of his lordship Caligos Winterscale. He takes a breath and continues in a calmer tone, the matter is closed. Let us speak no more of it.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
This cogitator looks a lot old. I cannot see the secret design, but I can sense it, shackled in stasis. The minds of the initiated are slumbering in the neural harness of their vows. I am registering an impulse of change. I surmise a potential influence on the stasis of the secret design. There came a time when the spiral was turned into a circle, but the cycle can be discontinued. The revelation granted by the Omnissiah to Logis Abel in the course of his data meditation has been recorded verbatim. Logis Abel is seeking an audience with the Venerable Dare Impulse 6 who may assist in interpreting the revelation. A request has been sent to the Governor's Palace for a shuttle flight to the electrodynamic cenobium. A message has also been sent to the Furibundus system. The cycle can be discontinued. I recognize the words. The voice from the Vox is soft and pensive, barely audible over the static noise. I believe I know the intended recipient of the message in the Furibundus system. It was me. Omnissiah, grant me the wisdom to fathom this mystery.
Intriguing.
Permission to report, Lord Captain. Over the past few days, I received several messages from different decks, complaining about anomalous behaviors in the ship's cogitators and servitors. The machine spirits are restless and rebellious, and no tech litany or ritual of pacification can rid them of this obstinacy. The tech priests can deal with the vessel's systems, but the servitors, they make errors in their tasks, disobey orders, change the assigned rituals, or sometimes downright freeze as if in a trance. A click comes through the Vox channel followed by a weary sigh. Lord Captain, occurrences such as these are caused by errors in cogitator calculations or have some other sensible explanation. I beseech you not to take after those who whisper about the ship being cursed or possessed. Idira joins the channel and chimes in playfully, "Oh, don't start, old man. All these peculiar happenings have long since turned into local legends. A door slams shut, a lumen starts flickering, folk have grown used to all that, so our resident ghost has decided to up the ante. I'm telling you, things are only going to get worse from here." The technomats inspected the servitors and concluded they pose no danger. According to the servants of the Omnissiah, such behavior is caused either by the echoes of minds not completely eliminated or by manifestations of the machine spirit's will. Nevertheless, the faulty servitors make the crew's tasks considerably more difficult, and High Factotum Janris Danrik would like to discuss how he should deal with the defective property. He is awaiting your audience on the bridge. A thin, pale woman stands out among the rest of the crew. There is a thick bundle of cables coming out of the back of her skull and disappearing under her ceremonial garment, and you see the grate of a quietly humming Vox where her mouth should be. The woman sees you and bows her head in a respectful greeting. "How may I serve you, Lord Captain?" The Vox Master nods obediently and presses several switches on the device she is holding. "It is done, Lord Captain." You address the crew with a rousing speech and hear your voice roll through the ship, reaching even the normally quiet corners of the vessel. When the broadcast ends, you hear distant shouts of approval. "I live to serve, Lord Captain."
Lord Captain? I thank you for the honor, but I must decline. As a former military officer, I believe in the importance of order in all things, including the chain of command. You are the Lord Captain, my direct superior. I am not prepared to address you in any way other than as regulation dictates. Lord Captain.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Information about the incidents has been detected in the catalog. The incidents have been acknowledged as insignificant. A technical inquiry has established that the most statistically likely cause of the errors was a transgression of sacrilegious negligence during the lobotomizing rite. This disgraceful act of malfeasance has allowed shadows of the servitor's thoughts and recollections to survive in the depths of his mind, which ought to be dedicated to service alone. As a ship's engine seer, I accept the results of the technical inquiry. As a learned servant of the Omnissiah, I question its findings. The patterns of the malfunctions form a more complex picture than can be discerned by those of lower ranks. For this reason, instructions have been issued across the ship to report any new incidents to me personally. May your labors be
The High Factotum Janris Danruk greets you with a cool smile and the merest hint of a bow. Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance? The High Factotum Janris. You see, your lordship, the ship's servitors have been malfunctioning of late. They violate protocols, interrupt their tasks, observe crew members for long periods of time, and move erratically with no meaning or purpose. Janris Danruk nervously pulls on his luxurious frock coat as if it were uncomfortably tight. Had it been a routine technical fault, I would have decided the fate of these servitors myself, but I deemed it necessary to notify you. I do not wish to hide such irregularities from the Lord Captain. If you wish to observe the servitors' unusual behavior before you decide their fate, this can be arranged. The majority of the defective units have been delivered to one of the storage compartments pending your decision. Pasquale Hanuman expressed the desire to be present during the inspection, should it be carried out. I suppose the expertise of the esteemed Magus may come in handy. As you wish, your lordship. Would you like the Engine Seer Prime to accompany you? As your lordship commands.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations. As the only voice of our family on this vessel, it is an honor. As long as your questions are courteous, I will answer every one of them. Just as a rogue trader stands at the head of a protectorate, a Novator heads a navigator house. It is the Novator who decides where to look for alliances and which path their bloodline is destined to tread. As for our house, the transfer of power to a successor is currently underway. In the meantime, Great Regent Auronto Orselio is ensuring the stability of the house. So, says Regent Auronto. Nothing is decided yet. Some people in the house become enshrouded in rolling grey clouds at the thought of me becoming the Novator. But even more are bound with dull leaden chains. They think I am not ready for such a burden. Oh, yes. The navigators of the house came to the Coronis Expanse fairly recently, a mere 208 years ago. Before that, our ancestors expanded the borders of humankind's dominion for the glory of the Emperor, blazing trails to different corners of the galaxy. By all means. I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis Nobilitae. Since time immemorial, our family has served to advance knowledge, pushing at the boundaries of the dark unknown. The Starway Atlas contains 2,843 routes that chart the sectors of the Segmentum Obscurus and reach all the way from the Coronis Expanse to Holy Terra. And uniting the Imperium's thousands of worlds. House Orselio is bound by commercial pacts to houses Galeatis, Ortina, Drotus, and... There is a dark blue knot tightening on your neck, Lord Captain. I can see my reply is not satisfying your thirst for knowledge. What is it you desire to hear exactly? You have my permission, Lord Captain. Hardly. According to the chronicles of the house, I was born on one of the Orselio worlds. Oh, what was it? Please forgive me, Lord Captain. My childhood memories are too vague. Sometimes I dream about the colorful birds that built their nests in the garden, or the servants dressed in purple livery, or the blue fog that rolled over the lowlands behind the palace. But everything is covered in a rosy haze. Perhaps it is my imagination, not my memory, that is painting these pictures. My stay on the station was wholly dedicated to preparing me for my future duty. Astromancy, astrography, numerology, the histories of my house and the Imperium, as well as other disciplines. For many years, dozens of instructors tirelessly prepared me for my destiny. And once a year, Great Regent Auronto would come to the station. He would entrust his beautiful vessel to my command, so that I could master the practical aspects of our art as well.
Did you have friends, someone you could talk to for a simple conversation of yet another lecture?
The Regent gave me a bird from a sunlit planet once. I tried to befriend it and make it sing, but for some reason, it refused and died soon after. The instructors were too respectful of my duty to my house to waste precious time on idle chatter. Aside from them, there were only servants on the station, and you know they have their vocal cords removed, so they cannot break their vow of silence.
Ah.
And since the subject has been breached, Lord Captain, why do you not follow this honored tradition? Your decks are so garish. Apologies, I meant noisy. The rabble don't just chatter. Sometimes they shout and even sing. Why do you allow such a lack of restraint? Rogue traders are highborn, are they not?
Jamais people because heard the noise people make it real to share with life.
With life? Ugh, if only you could take my place and watch this kaleidoscope. Every voice is a flash of color. Every conversation a shimmering glow. Every argument is an unstoppable swirl of gaudy splotches.
That you love paintings of a new speech as well. Yes, there's so many images with the U and Trula.
The Emperor graced me with a gift. I can see inner life in addition to the mundane. You cannot know that a fruit has rotten from the inside until a blade slices it in two. I can see the rot from far away. It roils like swamp mud, oozing through the bright peel. Anger and boredom, sadness and joy. Everything that people shut away inside themselves is revealed to me like colors on the canvas of my world.
You thought I do you always consider it?
The Navigator's open eye is baneful to whoever the warp's ruinous shine falls upon, and therefore it is the symbol of our power. We are the guiding stars of humanity, found worthy of an uncommon gift, and one of the duties that we bear is to guard our eye, even from wayward glances that may bear evil. Besides, I am aware that lesser servants of the Imperium may find our appearance repulsive. The Navigator gene twists the features the rabble are used to seeing, and the magnificence of our role cannot be grasped by their feeble minds.
Jag blir till podcast. I do let anyone or anything convince you otherwise.
Lord Captain, you are overstepping the bounds of propriety.
That was something, yes.
No objection from me, Lord Captain.
What does your special sight reveal?
Sister Argenta shines like a guiding star, inspiring resolve in those around her, seemingly inexplicably. However, I see a dark and ugly fog billow behind her, contrasting sharply with her shining light. It burdens the Sister of Battle. It drags her down. Yet Argenta herself is hardly aware of it. Seneschal Viserion is among the few whose colors are a pleasure to look at. Whenever the Seneschal speaks, heavenly crystal clarity spreads around him. And whenever he is angered, dark blue clouds condense over him. And in his rare moments of joy, a pure gleam of sunset pink caresses the souls of those near him. Out of your entire retinue, Lord Captain, he is the only one I would trust with my life. The esteemed Magos Haneman is shattered, like a beautiful stained glass window into a mosaic of colors. His bright, beckoning hues are mixed together in complete disarray. I must confess it perplexes me. Normally, scarlet and steel are all that fills the heart of a servant of the Omnissiah. Adira's emotions are like a maelstrom, bright, unbridled, enveloping her form like a wondrous kaleidoscope of colors. And as dangerous as a twisting warp storm. The riot of colors hides the truth from my eyes. What exactly is driving this woman? Is it her own will, or is it the Immaterium, Lord Captain?
Let's talk about us.
Right here? Are you sure?
This was if we end and ooh, this is
Of course. Let us turn from personal matters to more pressing concerns.
this way I must be my
I
lead.
have enjoyed your company.
Greetings.
Okay. On va dropper des books. C'est juste les seuls books que j'avais. Yep. What's that bridge? Lui, c'est le plus important. Là, comment ça fonctionne, c'est ces deux-là. Entrench en premier, après c'est Run and Gun. Man. Bon, lui, il a un bunker, starport, électrodynamique. Il y en a dans faire ça. Starport and bunker. All random, the warship là.
Augurs notice a large object among the lifeless rocks covering the planet. A void ship, whose signature and origin are impossible to identify from orbit, is resting on the edge of a deep ravine. The hull of the unidentified vessel is severely damaged, rocks around it shattered by the force of the gigantic machine's crash landing. The Augurs haven't detected any vital signs aboard or near
Send
the
us
vessel.
to the planet. Send us to the planet to explore the warship.
The landing party reports via Vox as soon as they touch down. The colossal void ship before them is covered with spikes. It resembles a morbid beast sculpted from darkness itself, menacingly hanging over the ravine. An experienced veteran accurately determines the origin of the unholy vessel. It belongs to the Xenos race called Drukhari. Ready to collapse
Drukhari.
at any moment, the void ship emits a long woeful creak as if promising to drag along into the abyss below anyone who dares to disturb its slumber.
Ebener suggests Vanilla Wadzinos were doing intelligent assistant to send more troops to the planet. A voice in the head are streaming replicating world Avenger, darkness and death. Some destiny to recall.
After 2 watches of hard labor, the workers managed to stabilize the Drukari void ship. The soldiers who entered the vessel were met with lifeless bodies of Xenos who had died when the void ship crashed. The void ship itself, following its abominable nature, came to life, immediately craving to sate its wicked appetite for human death. The vessel's systems have reacted to the intruders, and senselessly cruel, deadly traps have been activated on all decks.
Oop.
Monstrous contraptions designed to mince, rip apart, and incinerate their victims took the soldiers by surprise but were neutralized before the squad suffered significant losses. The soldiers found several curious pieces of xenotech on the sinister void ship but no data that could shed some light on why it came to the Rykad system.
Venom Blade. Oh. Oh! Ha 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 ha! Venom Blade. Blast Pistol. Monofilament Grenade. Ok, lui, il faudrait. Faudrait que j'aille Drukari Prophet Sensi. Agility, c'est juste Dodge. Et Initiative, ça c'est pas intéressant. Médicale aussi. Ok, lui, il faudrait que je prenne une affaire de Drukari. Là, j'ai un Drukari. Grinding damage with armor penetration. Je pourrais monter balistique. C'est également damage. Une physical damage avec plus 1 damage. Field Fire. Bestial athlétique.
Features: base skill, athletics.
Oui, son titre. Demolition. Ok, j'ai pas avancé de Demolition. Cosmo, ok. Drukari. Caractère level, requérir, futur d'or. Or basique, ok. Et power weapon. Oh. Melta. Les base skill, demolition. Available. Précise attaque, perfect spot. Là et plus. Fire de forge. Comosarius. Players can heal wound at a physical. Oh, ça c'est pas pire. Vision of Doom. Ok. C'est quand même pas pire Vision of Doom pour de vrai. Character provides such access to new psychic power. Gain cat. Willpower bonus of armor against 4 damage. The War Hymn. Furious Restore. Ouais, c'est basique de l'or Imperium. Very range. Mais votre target de l'additional damage. Ally. Gain. The willpower and toughness. Ok, c'est quand même pas pire. On a fait intéressant. Gain, ok. It's for statue penalty of resistance. Is higher than the agility. Yes. C'est de perception instead. C'est meilleur. Bon, faudra que j'aille Druchari, ça veut dire. Même pour moi-même. Juste ça, c'est l'as, ça c'est pas peu, c'est un bon pistolet. Je pourrais remplacer lui. Short Ray of Dark Light, Piercing. Ah, ok, lui c'est dread. Et lui, il peut sûrement poisonner, ça veut dire que c'est pas peu. Ça devrait bon pour lui. Faudrait que j'aille Druchari. Il peut l'avoir facilement. C'est 22. De Lorzinos, ou Basic Lorzinos. Pas de suite. Ah, must not have, it's ok. Adeptus. Il l'a pas. Il aime les chain weapons. Ça veut dire, il pourrait l'avoir. Nice. Moi, ça serait pas pire. Bon, faut peut-être feature Lorzina sur base skill. Lorzina. Peut-être qu'elle est à level 22. Ouais, c'est pas de suite. Ça, c'est des weapons 22, c'est pas de suite. Ça, c'est Heretical, Heretical. C'est Reject Flèche. On va aller faire la prison. Sheer Master, yep. Voilà. Laquelle est meilleure là? Ou je suis pas meilleur? C'est Awareness. Bon, lui, c'est juste la prison. On a 2 jours de break. Death Rockwell. Combien ça, c'est pas long. J'ai fait quasiment 18.
Over there.
Ah, de Captain Escort, please come in.
The pale young woman looks at you with a mixture of hope and disbelief swirling in her eyes. You notice her hands trembling as she clutches her weapon. Who are you? Did you come from the planet? Are you reinforcements? Saint's teeth, I thought you'd never come.
What about there?
There's been a prison riot on the planetoid. Sadly, it is being led by the prison warden himself, the Honorable Anat Hagon Castglaya. He has allied himself with the rabble that he himself was supposed to watch, and declared Rykati Philia to be independent of the authority of the system's lawful governor.
Okay.
I came here as a shuttle pilot alongside the Honorable Yvain Winterscale, son of Kal Agos Winterscale, rogue traitor, vanquisher of Xenos, forever triumphant over the enemies of humanity, she details, enunciating every word of her overlord's title.
Okay.
Young Lord Winterscale wished to speak to the warden personally so he could put an end to his lawless treason. He and his escort went ahead, and she grows paler. I haven't been able to contact them over Vox for a very long time now.
Oh, you är rätt att Arion Rita. But I need to parley with the dissident.
She sighs quietly. It's a personal matter. Master Castglaya, the seditious warden, is Lord Yvain's childhood friend. When my lord heard of the riot, the news saddened him greatly, and so he rushed here without delay, in hopes of bringing his old friend to his senses, no doubt. The first Winterscale in my memory who prefers to talk first rather than shoot and slash.
Huh.
She smiles faintly. Young Lord Winterscale is not his father's shadow. If he is determined to save his friend, he won't back down. I pray to the throne that he is alive and well. He's been gone for such a long time, and I really don't like this place. Kasha frowns in confusion. Theobald executed his wife and only son on the mere suspicion of treason against House Orselio. So why did the noble Yvain rush to save someone who had betrayed his house? Do bonds of friendship give one the right to make inexcusable mistakes?
Sanity. I'm looking for a man. Oh non, je sais il est où maintenant. C'est the prisoner.
It seems more likely that Warden Castglai learned about the rebellion on Rykad Minories and decided to use the situation to his advantage. I can't say for certain. Perhaps no one can. Governor Medina has always preferred to shoot rebels rather than inquire about their motives and connections.
The weather inside is spared the interior.
Yes, she bites her lip. No one expected this. Master Castglaya is a nobleman from a respected governor house and a vassal to House Winterscale. All of a sudden, he proclaimed that Rykati Philia was now his personal domain, that the prisoners were his subjects, and that he would never bow to anyone again. It's pure heresy. And I take it they're looking forward to a diet of sand and gravel? What kind of madman would start a revolt on a barren rock?
Tell me about
The
splintering.
only settlement on Rykati Philia is a penal colony. The prisoners work in the mines and the domed quarries. They mine sulfur, serum dust, and sand, which is then melted down. A rather nondescript place, or so it was, prior to current events.
Anything else I should.
Some of the rebels have holed up in the barracks. I don't know how many, but, given this is the only way through to where the negotiations are taking place, I would expect heavy resistance. Please take caution, your lordship. Lord Winterscale's guards mined the entrance so that the rebels couldn't get to the shuttle.
I know, yes, just.
The woman freezes for a moment before asking hesitantly, your lordship, if I may have a minute of your time. I wouldn't ever have dared to trouble you with a personal matter, but the situation, in any case, have you been to the capital of Rykad Minories yet? I wanted to ask if you saw a man there, a communications officer by the name of Jaspa.
Jasper, expect some sure that you may name your firstborn after me or whatever. Is it in there or?
Yes, of course, your lordship. We will. It is a great honor. She forces a smile. Then, with far greater sincerity, she adds, and thank you, both for saving Jaspa and for letting me know he's all right. She boss. You can tell by the desperation in her eyes that she is exhausted, frightened, and wishes to be off this planetoid as soon as possible.
Let's seize the opportunity.
Ça se peut qu'il soit mort après trop longtemps. Ok.
Cass, tell me.
Comment on fait mail?
When you look at me.
Usually a colorful pandemonium, but now
Upgrade.
your colors have faded. Are you afraid of me, Idira? Or of what I might see in you?
Perfection. I tread a path unexplored. Ruinous favor prevails.
Oh.
Your struggles are in vain.
Yo, Ben and Bullshed. Et eux sont derrière.
Let's get to it.
Juste ça. Ah, si je la vois. What the fuck? Ok. Ah. Fais ça. Et ça est 3. Et là, il y en a 4. En chat, ces 4-là, je les ai ignorés. Puis c'est important. C'est plus important.
Be careful not to cross my gaze.
Noir de zone, c'est un. Ok, ça peut les forcer à bouger de là. Ah, ok. The fuck? Faut que je voie. C'est calme un peu.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. If I may,
Voilà. Hop ça. Spot. Non, je l'ai pas. Ah, je l'ai eu. Je peux pas popper lui. Ça veut dire faire machine banishment sur les renégats là.
Chaos guides me.
On faisait autre chose.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Je peux pas tuer. Je vais envoyer un délire dessus.
Amidst the carnage, I find purpose.
Je vais faire Enter
Ruin
range.
beckons.
Je vais sniper lui. Je vais faire lui.
But of what?
Go. And
Anything else?
Follow my lead.
oh, c'est toi le truc de merdier qui se met là, là. C'est à 10%, ouais, je suis mieux d'utiliser elle.
It will be done.
Comment tu peux me dodge?
Victory is imminent. It will be done. Indeed.
Boom. Il y a tellement de buffs, lui, ça n'a pas d'allure, man. Ah, il peut pas. Skip. Oh, Cassia, il est. Plus personne ici? Nope. So. Yep.
Advancing. The scriptural prognosis is favorable. My vow is to serve.
Yeah. Je me fais déjà attaquer. Wow, wow, wow. Serretin Mono Knife. Ticlair, chance de. Oh, bye. Attention, c'est pas tout le temps.
I've read about this.
Revolver, knife.
Incredible. Your heart, esteemed Magos, shines with a kaleidoscope of colors, albeit one made of metal.
Only laypersons believe feelings to be the
Därför.
We know the higher passions granted by the Omnissiah, the aversion to tech corruption, the blessing of compliance with the canon of maintenance, and the satisfaction of effective devotional service. Operation successful.
Oh. Another dawn is night to me, we guide us to the new existence. Oh boy. There's somebody still.
Thank the throne. Normal looking faces. We thought we were going to die here with these nutters. The old man with a gap-toothed smile drops his weapon and holds out his hands in a placating gesture. Please don't shoot us, your nobleness. Let us speak a word. Well, this is a welcome change, talking before shooting. Still, Lord Captain, the look of this ragtag bunch hardly inspires trust.
I came across a watch into the system between two years that they told me thinking about doing your planned escape.
The man grunts, huffs, then makes up his mind. Well, now that's out of the bag. Our fellows were supposed to come get us a long time ago, but they got tied up somewhere. Void Kraken's gullet with them. And in all this time we had to wait. This happened. Pardon me for trying to pull the synth wool over you. It's just that we want nothing to do with this whole warden nonsense. So what now? Will you let us go? Idira cracks her neck. Sure, no problem. Today you tell us a little lie, tomorrow you stick a torpedo in our side from that ship of yours, if it doesn't fall apart the moment our helmsman sneezes in its general direction.
Hey, reason that is
Here's the
it
deal.
you?
We're honest, quiet inmates. We didn't want to riot. But, well, sitting it out wasn't really an option either. The warden's lapdogs made short work of those who refused to join in the festivities. So we had to, you know, play along. But that's all it was, play. We never meant no offense to Governor Medina nor to the lawful authority of House Winterscale. Give us a chance, eh? We just want to wait until everything blows over and we can go back to our cells and quietly do the rest of our time.
Okay.
Pasquale inquires demurely, does the fact that this serf is presently confined and therefore has previously betrayed the trust of the Imperium's servants need to be vocalized? Or is it evident to the persons uninitiated in the sacred mysteries of logic? A repentant, honest heretic. How novel. Judging by Abelard's tone, the Seneschal is utterly unimpressed by the old man's ingratiating monologue. The lowborn's speech is mottled with colors that conceal his true, darker hues. This old man has a long history of lies, and he is using his wiles on us as well, but I see no foul corruption or ill intent in his words.
Tell me more about our warden in Riot.
Ha, why soil your tongue talking about that heretic? But if you insist, here's how it is. The warden of this here prison, the Honorable Master Castglaya, was a crackpot from the start. The previous warden ran things the proper way, prayer, 1 meal a day, work, a punch in the chompers from the guards, work again. But the new one, do you know what his first decree was? He introduced lunches and dinners. By the 9 devils, that's 3 meals a day. The man was obviously stark raving mad.
Okay.
Things only went downhill from there. The guards quitted with the teeth punching, the warden forbade them. Instead, the overseers started counting which prisoners were digging up more things in the quarry or swinging their pickaxes harder or whatnot, and then, would you believe it, they put together a list of best workers. And if someone on that list also showed good behavior, that's when they'd get promoted to an optimate. That's the upper crust among us jailbirds. Or that's how it was at first. Then the warden decided it's the optimates, not the guards, who should be in charge of punishments. And that it wasn't the overseer's job to watch the prisoners work, it was the optimates. Well, let me tell you, that's when these goody two-shoes really started to shine. The guards aren't even in the same league as our dear fellows, the optimates. In the old days, we had maybe 5 or 10 stiffs kicking it a week, and now, well now we were lucky if it was only 50.
50.
And that wasn't even the end of it. Warden Castglya moved out of his chambers to live right in the quarry, under the dome. And I think something in his new home really scrambled his brain. He began spouting the wildest things like the optimates are saints who will behold the truth, and he started taking them to the quarry. Not all of them returned. The ones who did, you wouldn't recognize them, more beast than man. They were butchering people left and right. Even guards. And overseers. The warden himself had armed them. And that's the whole sob story. But I knew it from the moment he let us have dinners. Oh, this won't end well. Idira nods knowingly. The old codger's right. Whenever nobles start giving handouts to commoners, something always goes wrong. She notices your look and catches herself. I mean that with all due respect, your lordship, no offense intended.
What do I gain from it?
Now, how can lowly jailbirds hope to thank your noble self? Ah. I have an inkling. You see, us here, we're, how should I put this, different from the rest of the prisoners in this place. They're all petty thieves from Rykadminories, debtors, gutter snipes. They're no one serious. Now, we, your nobleness, are cut from a different cloth altogether. We're fortune seekers from the void. Why don't we tell you we're on Footfall Station? You know Footfall, the only shipyard and the best market in all the Coronis expanse. Yes, so, where on Footfall you can find some very serious, business-minded people, and how you can get yourself a very special discount from them on some very special goods.
What kind of very serious?
The most serious kind, your nobleness.
Fellowship of the Void, yeah, j'ai déjà parlé à eux.
It's the largest pirate alliance in the expanse. There is no leader, of course, but there are some terribly serious captains who decided that cutting each other's throats over loot was, what do you call it, counterproductive. But cutting throats together, now that's anti-counterproductive. And, well, their joint efforts leave them with an excess of spoils, so they need to dispose of it somehow. And I, your nobleness, just happen to know someone who handles such kinds of dealings on behalf of those very serious people. Oh, that's so great to hear, your nobleness. Just great. Now there's a true aristocrat, not that warden creep. Now then, your nobleness, where was I? If you're ever on Footfall Station, there's this district there, the Shadow Quarters. It's called that because it's located behind the statue of our holiest emperor. I've known folks who called it something else, also on account of it being behind the statue. Don't repeat their mistakes, I tell you. Reverend Hieronymus wasted no time finding and burning them all. Forgive an old man for getting distracted, so. Footfall. The Shadow Quarters. There's a bar there, built into the remains of an old ship. And in that bar, in the back room, a certain Riza does her business. Tell her Grandpa Bakval says hello. You'll be her favorite client in the blink of an eye. There we are. Well, your nobleness, we'll be going now if you don't mind?
It will not last. I shall not leave you here to die at the end of the Warden Ishmael. Go tell my pirate, because the Lord Captain ordered that you be sent to my ship. Run my crew, my ship crew, my personal pardon as a road trader.
Thanks. We are most grateful, your nobleness. The old man glances at you somewhat skeptically but then smiles and leaves.
Ils ont tué pour moi, ça veut dire. C'est juste des retours par démolish.
Triumphant, as always.
Good. Une axe normale, puis un axe normal.
Intriguing. I see the
Ooh.
forbidden.
Oh, Divino! Divino! C'est pas ça. Info. On sait. The next against each other would be. What? Every minute about. What? The fuck? What the fuck is that? To will to Sergeant Crossing abilities are sovereign act in desperate version. Willpower and elle a pas Lightning Heart, ça c'est mauvais. Oui. Puis celui-là. Il n'y a pas Axe. Aisément. Aisé. Je pensais à tomber comme. Oui, ok, ça c'est pas pire. J'ai acheté Pyromancie, c'est pas pire aussi. Ouais. Ok, ouais, ça marche avec le staff, ça. Mais staff, là, il est quand même intéressant. Je vais pas faire ça à la place. Enlever son gun parce que c'est pas bon. Puis aller double staff. Place. Ça va plus d'allure. Je donne une consigne qui est quand même colon. Ça veut dire c'est Nest et 5 crit hit, c'est carrément cave là. Je peux prendre mon fucking Milliman puis faire ah pouf. Tu te mets une level. Donner une slap in the face. Une level, ça me place. Wow, mon ça ending shotgun. Ok, c'est. Ok. Et ça, c'est genre un fucking sorte de shotgun melee, quoi. Tu devrais use under tes. Oh! Tout de quoi ici? Ah, fuck. Lui, automatique conviction, ça veut dire ça, c'est. Yeah. Use under, yeah. Ça veut dire c'est pas bon à utiliser.
Embrace true power.
C'est ça. Drops and decorated with a shot of arm. Oh. Open pit. Il y a ça. Awaken prisoner. Bon, j'ai sûrement arrêté ça là, ça veut dire, je pense. 9h30. Ça bon temps. Ah, c'est supposé être Andy Riot aujourd'hui. Je sais quelque chose de genre. Je continue un petit peu. Awoken Prisoner. Il y a beaucoup de laine sans tabarnak, ça veut dire. Ça sent la marde ici.
I told you, Evie. They are hiding so much from us. Arrogant mentors, holy brothers and sisters, what have they ever given us? Nothing but a pile of fibs and useless admonitions. The voice of the man standing with his back to you sounds almost soft. Heedless of everything but what is in front before him, he leans over a prisoner dressed in expensive clothing. But Aurora, she is different. She spoke with me like no one ever had before. She revealed the truth to me. And now I can reveal it to you, if you just stop struggling for 1 minute. What? The man finally realizes he is not alone and turns to you. He is clutching a long thin metallic rod with blood dripping off it. We have guests? From the Von Valancius ship, I would wager. Evie, my dear, you will have to wait. Do not faint, I beg of you. It's important that you feel everything. Including your other eye.
Oh, ok, ils sont en train de. Oh.
The warden's words are suddenly drowned out by a chorus of voices in your head. The entity that still dwells in the recesses of your mind rejoices in a cacophony of cries. This place, it holds great significance for the entity. In the frantic chanting of the voices, you can almost make out words that speak of an ancient grave, one that was opened, for it contained a priceless treasure, a most coveted prize that was retrieved by the faithful after a centuries-long search. Such dreadful shades, Kasha recoils and covers her mouth. The colors of this place, they are putrescent to the core. And these people, their colors are oozing with madness and despair, pain and doom.
That pit, there's something special about it. It is no item of value was once buried there. Now tell me, Rodan, what was the item we took from here?
The warden's gaze bores into you. Then he smiles with the corners of his lips. You are too late, enemy of the truth. This bastion has already fulfilled its great purpose. You will never find the trail of the reclaimed relic that now rests in the hands of the devout.
Please go when they ever find the trail. What the devil? What madness have you wrought in this prison?
Do you truly want to know? He becomes more animated and runs a hand through his matted hair. You note it has been some time since he last trimmed his nails. This was my garden, where I tried to grow the seedlings of a beautiful future. That was before I realized that there is no future, not in the sense ordinary people understand. We are too attached to this life, to the limitations of our weak bodies, to the short-sightedness of our eyes that can scarcely see. It is all so insignificant, the true future lies beyond real space.
Oh,
And the only way
wow.
to reach it is through a cleansing sacrifice. Do you understand?
Oh,
You know, we had this guy once, he was a quiet one. One day he walked into a middle deck bar, threw one back, and then pulled out a gun and started shooting people left and right without saying a word. Then he shoved the barrel in his mouth and blew his brains out. Our warden here has exactly the same look in his eyes right now.
What did you mean to these people?
These are my optimates. Saints who will guide the flock at the fated hour. Listen, he pauses and smiles. Can you hear? You can't? They are crying out. Calling. It's just that their cries are not meant for our ears. They cast their voices out there, beyond the edge of the glass, into the transparent quiet. There, they are heard. There, their call is answered. Rogue traitor, every moment spent on talking to this heretic could be a moment spent destroying him and committing this place to purifying flames. Isn't it time we got started?
Step away from the hostage at
The
once.
warden sneers and glances at the maimed young man. Hostage? How rude. Young Winterscale is my guest and dearest friend. He came here himself to visit his old acquaintance and have a heartfelt talk, and I am merely showing him some appropriate hospitality to commemorate our reunion. As if echoing his words, Yvain lets out a weak moan. How dare you, contemptible peasant! For every drop of noble blood you spill, you will pay 100-fold more. Kasha turns to you for support with an expression that is in equal parts indignant and frightened. Abelard shakes his head somberly. That poor fool. I knew nothing good would come of his naive attempt at negotiating with heretics. However, Yvain appears to still be alive. If we make haste, we might yet save him. Having a scion of House Winterscale in your debt would certainly prove beneficial.
I'm heir to Quellareal by a mean far from diplomacy.
Warden raises his hand, and the maimed people start thrashing about in their death throes. The time for words has passed. Optimates, give your power to this harbinger of Aurora. Let our foes see the truth, or become awash in blood.
Your existence is naught but ashes.
The Masters demand your death!
The master demand your death! Oh yeah, you demand my death? Ok, je vais te la coller ici dans le cul. Pascal, c'est à ton tour. Ouais. Je pense que ça va dire. Ouais, j'aimerais plus les cleanser, eux. C'est ça, c'est un ennemi, c'est quoi ça fait? Ennemi, c'est recoil disinterested by half. Allez, gain. Ok. Ok, moi, si c'est still bon, ça va dire que je vais le garocher sur moins place. Bof. Perfect spot. Ah non. Ah oui, c'est bon, perfect spot. Il va me rester un. Ça, je vais faire perfect spot. Juste de chance de hit. Et tu veux les kills de prisonnière. De même. Lui là. Et c'est le Warden après. Okay. J'ai pas de problème ça sur le Warden, pantoute. Tu viens-tu de tuer un de tes gars? Whatever, fais ce que tu veux. Fais ce que tu veux. I don't care. Cassia va aussi, s'il te plaît. Ok, Cassia, t'es-tu capable de genre sniper? Je peux pas pogner le monde plus loin, ben. Oh! Ok, c'est ça. Ok, ça hit quasiment tout le monde, ça c'est pas pire. Je vais le faire. Boom! Doctor dead. Parfait, and the cleaning and store. Je vais me buffer. Et là, je vais faire ça en entrench. J'ai perdu un tour. J'ai comme wasté mon tour. Vraiment, t'attaques ton gars, dude? Fais ce que tu veux. Chris. Scrive de fucking hells. Le monde sont tweets dans ça, man. J'ai mieux d'attaquer le Warden.
Doubt is for the weak.
Ah ben là. C'est un job. Pas sur le Warden, s'il te plaît.
A tactically sound approach. Ah, an exemplary strike.
Ah, nice. C'est juste ça que je devais faire. Oh, il respawn. Why? Avancer de 1 et 2. Il va être capable d'atteindre ici. Parce que s'il attaque lui, il est capable d'attaquer. Ah, lâche mon fucking press. Mon Tech Priest, Carlis. Ah, là, mais c'est. Ok. Là, je vais faire run and gun. There we go. Bon. Et ça, c'est pas à peine. Ça vaut à peine de l'attaquer.
Death shall reign.
Ah, 66. J'ai pas eu. Et j'en fais un untrench.
Purpose guides me.
Je stream direct sur lui. Ça vaut pas la peine. Si je l'envoie là. Ah, c'est Unalin Lens. Ok, wow. Plus besoin de bouger. Péter ça.
Will do.
Faut péter ça. Scraper ça. Pas Charles.
Was that you? Or
Côté. Ok, je vais exploser. Pas de gêne. Bon, là, tu es direct hors de moi, ça veut dire que je vais faire fucking intimidation. Hein? Faire mal mon esprit de merde. Et en même temps, on a le débuffer. Et en même temps, je vais désarmer ton attaque. Ça veut dire, là, tu m'en tueras pas bien raide. Et s'il essaie de me niaiser, il va juste wailer in the vide. Ok. C'est ça, on a les lens, faut le péter.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the
Donner un
Spurs?
tour.
I will.
Péter ça.
triumph.
Bonne chance, tiens-toi. Là, faudra sûrement que je pète l'autre, c'est Unholy Lens. Ah, ça valait la peine! Ah, fucking valait la peine! Je savais qu'il était à côté, lui. Non, elle rush là-bas. Et c'est pas beaucoup.
Guided by faith.
Fucking! Lâche mon fucking scream! C'est mort. Lui, il faudrait que j'aille là. C'est ce que je vais faire. Bon, le tech prise. Il est correct. Je pense pas qu'il est dans la merde. Changer là. Un, deux. C'est vrai, yep. Je savais qu'elle allait attaquer. Ça, m'attend. Pumpkin, tu lâches-tu mon fucking scream? Mon crise de chat de marde. Pumpkin, je vais t'arracher la tête. Pumpkin? On trouve elle. Yo, un exploit. Je vais faire ça. Exploit.
On it.
Arrête-tu? Arrête. Arrête. Énervant. Énervant. Then. Le slap. Avec ça. Là, ça, il va changer de place. Ouais. Il est allé direct à là. Good. C'est ça que je voulais en plus.
Anything else?
Bon, le Pascal, il est revenu libre. Je vais faire. Parfait shot. Punch-in! T'arrêtes-tu? Oh, Nick. À un moment donné, il y a une limite, là. Tu niaiser un point, là. C'est plus le temps de me niaiser. Les deux, ça va être de crever, ça, je vais juste shooter. Fuck. T'aurais pu pas misser.
Death to non-believers!
Vraiment? Lui, c'est encore plus de toi.
Step aside.
Boum.
The navigator is coming. Another foe painted
Hein?
black.
Deux DL, il reste juste trouvé. Lui, je vais le laisser. Moi, il faut que je me déplace.
In the name of House Orcellium, I
Pas fait.
prevail.
J'ai dash. Je vais me déplacer ici. T'as une dash.
Purpose guides me.
Then. Je suis capable de shoot. Non. Non, je suis pas encore capable. Mais je suis capable de shooter cet encul-là si je veux.
I need no guidance. I will delight
Hein?
my
Il va switch.
with your
Il va
demise.
repopper. Il popait là, parfait. Skip. Peut me popper à moi. Fait tout de suite à le donner.
Closer. Accept my offering.
Good job. Et un petit dash. Et là.
Rejoice in battle.
Péter son crise dans la ligne, site là.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
At your beck and call. Victory is imminent.
Hein? Oui, tu restes sur moi. Bon, là, je peux pas le tuer. Je vais avancer là.
Descend
Péter ça.
upon the weak.
Là, il est mort. Bye. There we go. Il va disparaître, lui. Toi, tu peux descendre là puis snipe. Nope. Parfait. Tu peux tuer une analyse, Dan. Yep, analyse puis expose. Ok, ça, c'est Iron Arm, c'est pas fait pour lui à Ballard. J'aurais pu le faire sur lui. Fuck. Ok, ouais. Ça, c'est bon à savoir. Bon, Tech Brace. Je suis capable de garocher jusqu'à là-bas. Oui. On va ignorer. On va le laisser se lever.
I am a navigator, not as duty demands.
I don't believe we've been properly introduced. Blood is bubbling on the young man's lips, and his voice is barely audible, but even now it remains melodious and quite courteous. Yvain, Winterscale, AF Coronis. Greatly pleased to make your acquaintance. On the rare days that Lord Winterscale visited Urakvi, the station was awash in a mist of warm hues. We were forbidden from meeting each other, but I was delighted still to see such rare colors in my home. Now, however, his colors are darkening, twisting from pain and bitterness. We must help, Lord Captain. We must save the clarity of his soul, for he whose presence makes the world a little brighter deserves no less. Lady, Kasha, I presume? The sacred child of House Orselio. How disgraceful it is that on the day we finally meet, Yvain looks away in shame. I find myself not at my best. There is no disgrace in your predicament, Lord Winterscale. The Lord Captain and I met under similarly dreadful and tragic circumstances.
What they done to you?
And the warden, my friend. I tried to convince him to stop the riot. Diplomacy failed. Speaking is a struggle, but he continues stubbornly. Father hates diplomacy. Which is why I had to try.
That's like you're strange. You are wounded and need help.
Wounded? I would have phrased it altogether differently. Tortured and maimed, perhaps. Have you ever had your eyes burned out? This was my first time. I cannot say I recommend the procedure. He is either trying to make light of the situation or growing delirious from the pain.
Måste ni har sett to says probably to you that you got it from here.
He nods, giving in to oblivion.
Orbited last gun. Noble sword. Oh. That cost +1 on hit. C'est pas pire. Précise last pistol. Oh. C'est normal.
I tread a path unexplored.
Médicament, ça.
The machine god grants me insight.
Pas un garde. Ok. Ok, c'est meilleur que ma sword en bas. Celle-là. Ok, ça c'est primitif. Ok, moi je suis chaîne. C'est quoi l'affaire que ça fait? Weapon. Et 20% critical. Ah, ok. Les crits sont plus gros. Ok, c'est tout. Et whatever, ça marche bien. Il y a still sa bonne, son officier ici. Il y a une Noble Sword qui est bonne, 7-12. Elle coûte plus cher à utiliser. Mais elle est quand même pas pire. On a hit, this sword attack inflict a disturbed statue effect on. Attaque deal additionnel. C'est pas pire. Disturbed et each attack inflict a -10 penalty to will. Ok, ça c'est pas pire pour elle. Plus qu'autre chose, ça a l'air. Elle peut mettre des debuffs willpower pas mal. Ok. Oh, c'est still bon pareil. C'est déjà appliqué. La fois carré, ça fait willpower x2. Damage. Oh my god, ça peut être crissement bon. Ok. De toute façon, je l'utilise pas. Lui, je l'utilise pas. Ça me donne juste plus de paris. J'ai des robotiques last gun. Les robotiques last gun est meilleur. Pas besoin de rien. Ok, les petits pistons sont pas pires. Ces deux-là, je peux pas les mettre. Revolver, je l'avais pas renoncé. Ah, pas mal donne ça. Attends, tu dois watch. Elle me donner ça. Et je vais arrêter de faire après ça, moi. Ça ping encore. C'est quoi la fin? Gleam of the Electro. Electro. Ok. Ah, ça serait lui. Ça veut dire le bunker il est intéressant. Bon, moi je vais y aller. Attendez. Ah. Ils sortent les boss, on s'en verra demain.